Good evening and welcome to our Kingsburg City Council regular meeting for Wednesday, October 19th, 2022 at 6 p.m. If you can all please stand. Before our invocation tonight, Councilwoman Michelle Roman would like to say something.
She was our very first elected Kingsburg City Councilwoman. She was first elected in 1978 to 1990, and she just recently passed away. Her services will be next week, so I'd like to have a moment of silence for her before we begin. Thank you.
Our invocation tonight will be given by Pastor Tim Boynton of the Kingsburg Covenant Church. Welcome, Pastor Boynton.
All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this night. Thank you for all these public servants who give themselves for the city of Kingsburg. Lord, we thank you for the council. We thank you for our leaders. We thank you for our police officers. We thank you for everyone who makes Kingsburg what it is. Lord, I just ask that you would put a hedge of protection around this place. I pray that you would give wisdom and grace and direction. For we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can be seated. Thank you, Pastor Tim. I would like to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you please do roll call?
Councilmember Hurtado.
Here.
Councilmember Purcell Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Roman.
Here.
Mayor North.
Here. Thank you. Item number 2 is to approve our agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 is presentations. Tonight we do have 3, and the sponsor is from the police department. We have promotional presentations for Police Sergeant Lee Forlines, Police Lieutenant Sean Stevens, and Police Lieutenant Kevin Penley. You have Chief.
Thank you, Mayor North. Good evening, members of the council. One of our more fun things to do, bring new employees forward, and promotions. So tonight we have 3. I'd like to first bring forward Sergeant Lee Forlines. So, Sergeant Forlines was born outside of Toronto, Canada, and came to the U.S. when he was 5 years old. Sergeant Forlines began his law enforcement career with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office in March of 2006, working as a correctional officer with the Jail Bureau. Sergeant Forlines was assigned to work in several different areas of the jail, which helped him to gain a well-rounded understanding of how to communicate with others, enforce laws, and jail rules. Sergeant Forlines continued to expand his knowledge in law enforcement by putting himself through the basic police academy while working nights. That's not easy. He graduated from the police academy in 2008. Shortly after completing the police academy, Sergeant Forlines was hired by the city of Coalinga, where he worked as a paid Level 1 Reserve police officer. Sergeant Forlines continued to work both as a correctional officer for the Sheriff's Office and a Level 1 Reserve police officer for the Coalinga Police Department. Sergeant Forlines worked as a training officer for the new correctional officers, worked as a classification officer, a highly skilled and coveted position. And because of his dedication and work ethic, Sergeant Forlines promoted to the rank of correctional sergeant and served as a sergeant before leaving the Sheriff's Office to serve as a police officer for the city of Kingsburg. He was a sergeant for 3 years. Since becoming a Kingsburg police officer, Sergeant Forlines has served as a patrol officer, field training officer, and as a dedicated and very passionate detective. Sergeant Forlines has received numerous commendations for his investigative skills and was selected as the Chamber of Commerce Public Safety Officer of the Year. He was promoted to sergeant in March of this year. Sergeant Forlines has a Bachelor of Science degree from California State University, Fresno in Recreation and Leisure Studies with a management emphasis. He's going to lead all of our retreats. Sergeant Forlines wants the council and public to know that he decided to pursue a career as a full-time police officer with the city of Kingsburg because, quote, I wanted to work for a community that I believed shared my same core values and principles. I initially grew up in a small town, which allowed me to learn that it's the people who can make a difference in a community, and I believe that every person in the community I serve plays an important role, and every person has an opportunity to make a big difference. I found that Kingsburg is a very special place with a unique heritage, and I wanted to contribute to preserving that quality of life by serving this community. In his leisure time, Sergeant Forlines enjoys the outdoors, hunting, fishing, backpacking, and camping in the mountains. He always brings back the flesh of dead carcasses that he hunts down in faraway regions of the U.S. and he shares with everybody. He's also been known to lace up his skates and play ice hockey, which he's a pretty good player, and it's been that's been a major part of his life since he was a young child. I present to you Sergeant Lee Forlines. Next, I'd like to call up Lieutenant Sean Stevens. Lieutenant Stevens was raised in Fresno, where he attended local schools. After graduating high school, Lieutenant Stevens worked for the Fresno Unified School District as a campus safety assistant at Hoover High School. Lieutenant Stevens also coached football and wrestling while working at Hoover. Lieutenant Stevens attended the Fresno City College Modular Police Academy at night, completing modules 3 and 2 in 1999. Lieutenant Stevens began his law enforcement career in March of 2000 as a reserve police officer with the Kingsburg Police Department. Lieutenant Stevens later returned to the Fresno City College Police Academy and completed the remaining module of the academy in 2003, qualifying him to be a full-time police officer. Lieutenant Stevens was immediately hired as a full-time police officer by the Kingsburg Police Department. During his service with the Kingsburg Police Department, Lieutenant Stevens has worked in a variety of assignments, including detective, canine handler, and field training officer. And in 2005, Lieutenant Stevens was promoted to the rank of sergeant, where he held several positions, which included supervising the canine unit, field training officers, and the detective unit. And Sean was responsible for putting on the canine trials, which were here in Kingsburg up until 2017. So, and that's quite an event. I mean, and people came from all over the state to participate in that. That was a very well recognized event in the canine world in law enforcement. Lieutenant Stevens promoted to the rank of lieutenant in May of 2022, becoming the department's first lieutenant since 2006. Lieutenant Stevens obtained his Associate of Science degree in criminology from Ashworth College in 2006, and in 2011 was awarded his Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice from the Union Institute and University. Lieutenant Stevens is a graduate of the Sherman Block Supervisory Leadership Institute, Class 409. SLI, the Leadership Institute, is a leadership program developed by Post and designed to stimulate personal growth, leadership, and ethical decision-making in California's frontline supervisors. In his leisure time, Lieutenant Stevens enjoys coaching football for the Kingsburg Lions Club and spending time with his family. I present to you Lieutenant Stevens. I'd like to call up Lieutenant Kevin Pendley. Lieutenant Penley was born in Selma, California, and grew up in Lassen County and Fresno. Lieutenant Penley started his career with the U.S. Army in 1986 in the Military Police Corps. During his time in the Army, Lieutenant Penley was stationed in the Philippines, as well as and Korea, as well as stateside postings at Fort McClellan, Alabama. Lieutenant Penley also served in the U.S. Army Reserve and the California Army National Guard as a military police investigator. He has the look. Lieutenant Penley started his career in local law enforcement in 1989 with the King City Police Department and left in 1991 to join the Kingsburg Police Department. He held various assignments that include field training officer, range master, weapons armorer, driving instructor, detective, DARE officer, reserve unit coordinator, field training officer, supervisor, internal affairs investigator, and department training manager. There isn't anything he hasn't done at the police department. Lieutenant Penley has earned numerous civic and department awards and commendations, including one of the department's highest awards, the Combat Cross. Lieutenant Penley is a graduate of the Sherman Block Supervisory Leadership Institute Class 408. SLI, again, is a leadership program developed by Post and designed to stimulate personal growth and ethical decision-making in California's frontline supervisors. Since 1998, Kevin has served as an adjunct instructor with the Fresno City College Police Academy, where he teaches firearms, emergency vehicle operations, field training officer, and the range master course. Lieutenant Penley has an Associate of Science degree in Criminal Justice and a Bachelor of Science degree in Management from Ashworth College. Kevin has raised 3 children in Kingsburg, a daughter and 2 sons, and I believe his daughter's here with him this evening. Both sons served in the U.S. Army, and one continues to serve as a military police canine handler. His daughter continues living here in Kingsburg. Lieutenant Penley spends some of his leisure time hiking, fishing, and running. I'd like to present to you Lieutenant Kevin Penley. We're very excited at the growth that the police department has experienced. We appreciate the continued public support and the support of this council. I thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
On to item number 4, which is public comment. This is the time for any citizen to come forward and address the City Council on any issue within its jurisdiction that is not listed on the agenda. A maximum of 5 minutes is allowed for each speaker. Do we have anyone in chambers tonight that would like to give a public comment? Hearing none, we will close public comment and we will move on to item number 5. Item number 5 is consent calendar. Tonight we have items 5.1 through 5.9. Approval of City Council minutes, check register, approve the proposed benefits of the police recruit position, review and file the COVID-19 supplemental paid sick leave extension, adopt resolution 2022-065, unrepresented management employee salary and benefit resolution, approve the salary chart effective September 21st, 2022 and October 19th, 2022, accept the 2022 street project completed by Don Berry Construction, Inc., and authorize the city engineer to file the notice of completion, accept the Madison Avenue Bike Trail project completed by Don Berry Construction and authorize the city engineer to file the notice of completion, approve the proposed Assistant City Manager Administrative Services Director position. So we have 9 different items here. I will start by asking if there's anyone from staff that would want anything pulled tonight. Anyone from the public that would like anything pulled tonight? Or have any public comment on any items? How about council? Anything pulled? Okay, then I will need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. On to item 6, regular calendar. 6.1, public hearing for the Building Department, Planning Department, Fire Department, Recreation and Public Works Master Fee Schedule. So right now, we will start by opening the public hearing, and our presentation will be by City Manager Alexander Henderson.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. Before I get started, you guys are welcome to take off.
Yeah,
too,
you
but
definitely
you're,
don't have.
You're
I know
certainly
this
welcome to
isn't-
sit and listen to the fee resolution.
Congratulations.
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
They want photos? I'm gonna ask for quick.
Yeah, they were all dressed.
Chief, do they want any photos up front?
Come on,
You can bring them
Chief.
back in.
We will
Even if the-
pause
even if the hearing is
we'll
open?
pause
Okay.
the public hearing.
This is all part of the public record for the fee resolution.
Since they're all dressed up?
Yeah, if they want families.
Yeah, you want your family up front?
How do you know I need that? Hey, you guys! I was like, okay, we're not.
Yeah, I got you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Once. You sure?
Oh, are we getting in? Oh, we're getting in there?
I didn't want to. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Where's Chief? Oh, there you go. Thanks.
Hang on. Wait for Chief. This way. Thank you.
All dressed up and know where to go. Gotta get them
I got it.
photos.
This morning I had to go home and shower. I had got off work and came right over here. You're good.
I got a picture of him getting steps in yesterday. While I was on the treadmill, he was walking. I have proof. Just look. Okay, what now?
You ready now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't even know this phone. We're good. Let's do it.
All right, you ready? 1,
Smile.
2, 3.
Just taking like 5. Okay, I got them.
Do you guys want here together? Yeah.
He has to be fed.
Okay, let's go do that.
I mean, hey, we got dressed up too.
One more.
There you go. Shell is your second job. I tried. Thank you. You're welcome.
Proteins.
Both of them are like similar. I love that. It's ridiculous.
To the card.
To the card against
Christine, my question is, did they dress the same on the 28th?
I know, right?
You guys want to get your family and
Yes,
everybody?
please.
Oh, we gotta get.
You gotta get in there.
Jaden went to get his. I'll send him to you from mine, Jean.
Page before beauty.
Okay. Sorry, we're not doing that. There you go.
Yeah. Get in there, Beefy. Huh? Not them, not me. Yeah. All right, I'm out of film.
Congratulations. Congrats.
He showed me.
Good?
Thank you for bailing me out.
Thank you.
Was it regular public call? You asked. Regular?
Echoing.
She did ask.
So I opened it.
I'm going to talk loud and turn that off. So I opened it. Do I need to do anything different since we paused? No? Okay. Presentation by City Manager Alexander Henderson.
All right, thank you. Madam Mayor, members of council, each year staff reviews the existing master fee schedule to determine if changes are needed to ensure services provided are being adequately funded by the appropriate parties. Taxpayers are not responsible for funding or subsidizing activities that are often development driven. Such fees shall in no case exceed the actual cost of providing the service in compliance with the California Constitution. So this evening we just have a handful of recommended fee changes. I will go over them in summary format, but there are the specifics in your packet this evening. The ambulance and fire department, if you recall last year, we did a rate adjustment for our ambulance rates, which involves both labor costs and supplies associated with that service. And at that time, council provided direction to return each year to adjust those fees in a consistent format so that we would avoid that fund going underwater or avoid a very large increase from taking so long from time to time. So that's what's proposed this evening. And then we also need to establish or update our hourly rates for personnel and equipment in order to properly bill for services as they relate to both to Cal OES or out-of-county assignments, but then also we participate in both a ground emergency medical transport program and an intergovernmental transport program, a federal program for ambulance runs for which we do not, which were not reimbursed. So if someone doesn't have insurance or if they have Medi-Cal, there's a gap there, and so we need established rates in order to apply for that reimbursement. The second, Community Development Department has 3 minor fees for your consideration this evening. So we have a temporary sign permit review fee. We're proposing $25. This covers a portion of staff time to review and approve those and then ensure that the standards for our temporary signs are upheld. Our oversized copying fee of $10, which is for our plotter. Most of that goes towards a minimum amount of staff time, but the ink and maintenance on that piece of equipment. And then a technology fee of 0.1% of valuation, which is in order to support software solutions. So we have to maintain a building permitting program, business licensing program, things like that. And we have to supply particular reports that the state of California requires, and this will help us achieve that. And the Public Works Department, we're recommending changes to our encroachment permit formula. So the way that it's currently constructed, there's no maximum. And so there are large projects, for example, the fiber project that will be coming up, encroachment permit fee all over town. Potential, the goal for us is just to make sure that we're recouping our costs for plan review and then also any inspections that may need to occur. But then there's also, because it's valuation based right now, there are instances where perhaps we're not collecting enough fee. So we just want to make sure that we're updating that and we'll match something that we have similarly with our grading fees as well. And then in community services, we are in the process of implementing an online software solution, CivicRec, which will allow people to book park reservations and do other community service department activities online. But there are some limitations in the software with regards to add-on fees. So right now we charge a non-resident fee for electricity use at the parks, and so we're recommending just a straight fee for that type of service, whether you're a resident or not. we don't get a lot of non-resident rentals like that anyways. There was 7 of them that rented the park since January 1 this year. So included in your pack, as I mentioned, is detailed fee information, and the staff's recommendation is for council to approve the proposed fees as presented and adopt the resolution 2022-006. That concludes my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions, and staff members are here.
Thank you. Item C is for city council discussion. Do we have any discussion on this item?
No.
Okay, then we will close the city council discussion and open for public comment. Do we have any public comment on this item? Seeing none, we will close public comment. Next, we will have continued city council discussion. Any other ideas come to mind?
No.
Okay, then we will close our public hearing and we will move to possible actions. So our staff has recommended the possible action of adopting our resolution number 2022-066, if that is something that the council desires. So I'll need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.2, award of 10th Avenue and Draper Street intersection improvements project and rapid flashing beacon crosswalk update. Staff report and presentation by City Engineer Dave Peters.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. So I kind of have a two-part report here. The first is city advertised bids for construction of the 10th Avenue and Draper Street intersection improvement project on September 6th. The project includes, there's actually a pretty good picture in your packet on Figure 1, includes adding some striping to add an additional lane on the southbound approach of Draper Street, some additional signage and pavement markings, and also installation of a rectangular rapid flashing beacon active crosswalk signals. And those are also included in your packet if you want to see what those look like. They're solar powered, so there's no electrical services needed for that. City received 3 responses from contractors ranging from $61,820 to $76,350. The low bid was submitted by ARES General Engineering in the amount of $61,820, and we've checked their license with the state contractors license board, and they're in good standing and they have the appropriate license, so we're recommending that you award the contract to that firm. Be happy to answer any questions on that part.
Thank you. Council discussion?
Say you've worked with this.
I have not worked with them before. I have spoken with them on the phone. They seem to me that they have the experience to do this kind of work, but I personally have not worked with them on a project before.
So they've done these in other cities that you've seen.
But yeah, they have told me they have, so I have not inspected their work, but it's a pretty simple project, I think.
Striping.
Yeah,
Pretty straightforward for them.
yeah, I feel comfortable with it.
The lowest bid. I mean,
How many bids did we get?
3.
Any public comment on this item? I'll bring it back to council. The staff is recommending the award of the 10th Avenue and Draper Street intersection improvement to the ARES General Engineering in the amount of $61,820. So if this is council's desire, I will need a motion.
Make that motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, I'd also like to just give you a quick update on a sister project that we're working on. We've talked about this before. We've got actually 4 additional crosswalk locations that we're looking at installing the rectangular rapid flashing beacons on. They're all on Sierra Street, which is a state highway, so we're working through some issues with Caltrans. But the locations are at Draper Street, at 19th and 20th, and then a new crosswalk at Madsen Avenue. So some of the issues that we're working with Caltrans on, the first one is a good one. We're doing a cooperative agreement with them because they're going to pay for half of it. So that's a good thing. And then they have a very unique design for the pole that houses the rectangular rapid flashing beacons. It's a gigantic 8-inch pole that is able to withstand 149 mile an hour winds. So we're working on an alternate pole design, and I think we have. I think we're going to get approval for pretty soon. That's much less significant than that. Their pole would have caused overhead conflicts with the power lines, and the foundations were gigantic. They would have conflicted with utilities. So. But that had to go through structures, and it was kind of a process. The other thing we're working with them on is doing an engineering study as outlined in the MUTCD for the new crosswalk at Madsen Avenue. The reason that requires a study is because it's a crosswalk at an uncontrolled approach to an intersection, so there's no stop sign there. So we need to finalize that study, submit it to Caltrans, get their approval. I think we're on track to do that. We're also looking at getting some traffic counts and looking to see if it qualifies as a four-way stop, just in case we need to go to that direction to be able to facilitate that crosswalk. So that's kind of just an update on where we're at. We're hoping to get a lot of these things wrapped up and the project out to bid shortly after Thanksgiving, and then get started on construction right around the first of the year. So, yeah, for these. And as soon as we get the Caltrans to sign off on the poles, I think we're going to try to order the poles because that's the long lead time. And then the city will just furnish the contractor with the poles. That will kind of help speed up the project and get it done quicker. So.
Question. On the one on Madsen,
Mm-hmm.
I know that I've had some residents contact me because we have Linnea Villas there.
Right.
And so we have a lot of our seniors that are crossing that road.
Right.
Does Caltrans, when they're looking at the traffic count, do they ever take into consideration like a population that's more at risk that will be right there?
Yeah, I think that's all part of it. Yeah, the study is there's a lot of different parts of the study that you need to consider. One of them is activity centers that would utilize that crosswalk, and that's certainly one. I think it's also a strong point that we already have people crossing there. So if they're going to cross, we might as well make it as safe as possible. So, like I said, I've had multiple conversations with Caltrans Traffic Engineering on this. I think we're getting close. But it's just the process. They have to go through the process and approve the study. So, yeah.
Item 6.3, Crime Statistics Report for the month of September 2022 and General Police Department Update. Crime Statistics Report prepared by Kingsburg Police Department Record Supervisor Karina Padilla and presented by Police Chief Neil Davian.
Good evening again, Mayor North and members of the council. No real notable crime issues that we have. I do want to point out we kind of went from, well, we doubled. We went from 6 thefts to 12 thefts. Kind of got my head scratching because I want to know why. I pulled all those reports for the last month, and I was trying to look for some commonalities. There really aren't any. We had 2 shopliftings at both of the pharmacies. We just had some miscellaneous thefts, anything from men's shoes to trailer tires to debit cards to a gas can to a phone. Just, another shoplifting at a convenience store for a 3-pack of beer. I didn't even know a 3-pack was a thing. But no commonality. But that kind of leads me to what I want to discuss next. I've started a project with staff to refine our crime stats down, for me anyway, down to a finer level of granularity, because I want a deeper understanding of criminal activity, basically every crime. I really want to look at every crime that we have and see if there's more ways to attack that and get in front of it, or investigate it more thoroughly and bring it to a conclusion with an arrest. So going forward, this may cause a modification in our monthly report. I've talked to the council about that in the past. I'm really not happy with the format, but I don't have anything better as of yet. But as I get to a little finer level, I may modify things. I promise not to go full geek on you guys and, you know, get too much into the weeds. But my goal is to have a very fine level of statistics for the police department staff and a comprehensive but understandable monthly view of crime for the council and the public, because I think it's important that the public see what we're doing crime-wise, where we're at. You know, is this a safe community? What those crimes are, and you know, when we publish those monthly, I want that available so that people have a good understanding of that, and I think we can do a better job. Recruitment and interviews continue for our 3 current vacancies. No word on our Prop 56 grant that we applied for. I was hoping to hear by this month, but we haven't heard anything yet, so we're just waiting for the state. 2 professional staff attended a leadership training recently. We're really investing in our professional staff as well as our sworn staff, because all of our employees merit the same attention, so we'll continue to do that. Sworn employees we have ongoing perishable skills training, mandated training that satisfies state mandates. Our building is being painted. If you haven't driven by, it's kind of halfway there, so very happy about that. The staff chose a kind of a medium gray color with dark blue trim. I think it's going to look very nice. I wanted to paint it Swedish blue and gold, but I was outvoted. I still think it would look better.
Jeez.
And we're meeting with our architect. That continues. We just had one a couple days ago for the remodel inside the police department, and hoping to have a cost estimate for that in the next few weeks. That completes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
I just have one question, Chief. Where would domestic violence fall into? What category would that be under?
Okay, that is going to be under aggravated assaults. Aggravated assaults changed. I want to say that was maybe 3 years ago, possibly 4 years ago, where we started adding in domestic violence into that. Previously, it was not. So all of the domestic violence and other assaults with a deadly weapon, other felonies are put into that category. But that would be a good example of taking another category like I did with this, breaking that down, and how many DVs, how many assaults with a deadly weapon, how many shootings, that kind of stuff. Because, you know, again, this is to report at a national level. Doesn't really tell me anything, and I think we can, you know, break that down a little bit more. Thank you.
Moving on to item 7, council reports and staff communications. 7.1, Community Services Commission, we have not met yet. 7.2, Public Safety Committee.
I'll meet in November.
7.3, Chamber of Commerce.
Met last week. They passed on that the Crayfish Festival was successful. They sold out of everything, including T-shirts and everything. The downtown street eats was deemed very successful also. They had positive feedback from business owners downtown, with the exception of, I believe, one who wasn't happy with it. They're planning for their annual dinner and their Veterans Day breakfast, and they should be announcing those things shortly.
7.4, Economic Development.
We have not met.
7.5, Finance Committee.
We meet next week.
7.6, Planning Commission, we have not met. 7.7, SKGSA.
We have not met.
7.8, Downtown Business Improvement District.
Okay, so the bid met on the 13th of this month. They spoke about the possibility of wanting to send out surveys to businesses on what they would like to see their funds in their bucket be used for. Love that idea. Spoke about a marketing training or workshop for businesses to put them through to get them familiarized with the process. And the holiday kickoff is starting November the 5th. So spend your money downtown. That's it.
7.9, Council of Governments.
We meet next week.
7.10, Council Member Reports.
Have none.
I'm busy the last couple weeks. The day after our last meeting, we had the Kingsburg Task Force meeting, and it was hosted by the police department, so thanks, Chief, for that. So that was a good turnout from a nice variety of different groups in town. And then we had the Kingsburg horse race at the fair, and Alex and I attended that, and I guess our horse won. Sound good? We gave out the trophy, so.
The horse always wins.
Our
It
horse,
always wins,
every
right?
time, every year, without
Just
fail,
saying.
we always win.
So that was fun. And I just want to also give a shout out to the Lions Club for always putting on our display at the fair for the
Yes.
city of Kingsburg, and they do
Really
such a
nice.
nice job. And I know Steve Safardzian's been part of that. There was a sign there. How many years has he been doing it? 40?
46, I think, or something like
Yeah,
that.
very long time, but just thank you to the Lions Club for doing that every year for us. And then I attended the 39th annual Marjorie Mason Center's Top 10 Women in Business Awards, and they were talking about domestic violence and child abuse and how much the numbers have gone up, and that's the reason why I asked the question, talking about that after that meeting. So it's always nice to support Marjorie Mason Center. And then all week, starting last week, we've been having third grade tours. So Lincoln School's been going through the depot. So it's been fun having them go through and ask a lot of really good questions about the depot, because we're back in 1923 and not 2022. And we like to confuse them a lot about what we do over there. So it's been a lot of fun. And then finally, you're going to be getting a invitation to the Golden State Corridor groundbreaking ceremony. It's going to be in Fowler on November 1st. And I want to let you guys know now because our next meeting is on November 2nd. And the county asked me to be the MC for the event. And all three cities of Kingsburg, Fowler, and Selma are going to be invited. So it'll be 10:30 a.m. on November 1st. That's it.
7.11, City Manager's Report.
Just a quick reminder that tomorrow starts the fall cleanup days. So a free event for Kingsburg residents and businesses. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then just a reminder that ballots have been mailed. So I know Abby's helping answer a lot of those questions. So we have a couple of drop boxes. There's one at the train depot and then one at the high school. That's all.
Item 8, future agenda items, and we have none listed under that. So item 9, we will adjourn our regular Kingsburg City Council.
I hope I get all the votes. Okay, I'll open it now,
Hey,
Michelle.
Holly. You know how Abe today was talking about that gravel? Yeah. Did you get a sense of where that was? He just said Fowler, right? Did you say it was like B-Suite? B-Suite front?